United Methodist Church.
Okay. Hello, my name is Kendal. I go to Vertigos High School, and I'm in 10th grade. I am 15 years old, and when I was around 5, I would always talk to my mom about me adopting a child. And she would correct me and say, "You mean have a child?" And I would always say, "No, I want to adopt." And she didn't think much of it at the time, and life went on. I always had ear infections, and I got sick a lot growing up. I had several surgeries on my ears growing up, and I also got made fun of for being so short. We didn't know what caused all this, and then one day, when I was around 9, I was in surgery again for my ears. My surgeon, Dr. White, took my parents aside to talk to them. At first, my parents were scared that everything didn't go okay, but he assured them that it did. And he suggested that I get tested for something that would change our lives forever, Turner syndrome, which is a chromosomal condition that affects development in females. And he had a few patients who had this, and I had the same signs: ear infections, shortness, even the roof of my mouth was narrow, and that was a sign. So we had some tests done, and they came back positive. Right then, I thought all my plans were done. Whenever you're 10, you don't know what to think or what to do when you hear news like that. I thought I was going to be such a burden on my parents with always going to the doctor. I had a genetic doctor, a cardiologist, endocrinologist, ear specialist, and those went forever. Lots of tests had to be done to see what characteristics I had and what I didn't. I could have kidney problems, loss of hearing and eyesight, heart problems, and the list went on and on. And we also found out that being terrible at math was related to Turner's. I thought I could never have a normal life, and that was really hard for me. My self-esteem went down, and so did my grades. I even had to start taking shots every day to help me grow before I was 13, because that's whenever they estimated that my growth plates would fuse. The scariest part was my heart, though, because after I was diagnosed, they found out that I have a heart defect. I have a bicuspid valve, and the walls of my aorta would eventually thin out. So that was some more news, and I wasn't mad at God, but I didn't know why all of this was happening to me. And with all this, there was even yet more bad news to come. When I got a little older, my parents sat me down and let me know that I could never have kids due to the fact that I don't have ovaries, and even if I did get pregnant, then my heart wouldn't be okay in giving birth. Believe it or not, I actually was fine with this news. Because remember at the beginning when I told you that I wanted to adopt since I was 5? Well, I thought of a Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And so this verse I took as a sign because God knew I had this. He knew that I could never have kids, and He knew I had Turner syndrome. Yet He gave me a mindset already that I was going to adopt. And God's presence, I knew, was definitely with me. And today, I'm happy and healthy. I no longer have to take shots, although they didn't get me doing 5'10". Anyway, my ears, they helped my ears not to have infections anymore. And my heart is strong. And I take plenty of forever pills, is what I like to call them. But that's just what keeps me going. I have learned so much, but above all else, this whole experience has brought me closer to God. than I could ever imagine. He helped me in my darkest moments and is still with me today. He is preparing us for whatever is next, even if we don't know it at the time. I wanted to share his presence in my life in hopes that you might recognize his presence in your life also. It is always there and it's never ending. Thank you.